All right, guys, the off season is coming to an end and tournaments are around the corner. What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today, I'm preparing for the upcoming tournaments and to get better this year. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me. We're gonna play a local wooded course. We're just gonna play whatever tees are cleared. I don't think all of them are. And I'm gonna talk you through my shot selection, why, and how I plan to go through this season of tournaments. Hole one, we have like 240, pretty much dead straight, little hallway shot. And I usually go with one of two options here. I go with a putter, but sometimes you kind of have to push the ceiling and that gap gets tighter as you go higher. So I'll sometimes disc up. We're throwing the Envy, which is my new disc in my throwing putter slot. I didn't want it to be because it was so popular, but in this case, the hype was real. Okay, got off that tree. That's good. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to run the ace, but that was good. So now I'm gonna disc up a little bit, bring the arm speed down a touch, and just let this kind of glide. That's a little bit long, maybe. Yeah, it's a little long, but we're gonna be putting. I'm a currently 898 rated player. This season, I wanna jump up to like, hopefully 920. That would be sick. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, wow, this guy really sucks. That's fair, but I'm hoping to get better. I'm hoping to pursue some good disc golf and continue to bring you guys good content. Most of this off season, I've just been throwing ace runs for fun. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen a lot of that. If you watch my shorts, you've seen a lot of that. And it's been great. It's been a good time, but it's just not realistic for preparing for tournaments. And so I'm out here at a course that's going to challenge my gap hitting today. It's a little cold, I think, to be just trying to bomb discs. And I spent all last season working on distance. I think I need to work on control, work on my forehands. So hopefully that's what you guys see some of today. All right, the Hex is right here. Envy right there. Both of them pretty close to the basket. The Hex is I don't know, 10, 15 footer here at most. Easy clean up there. And the Envy was absolutely parked. So you might be wondering in the future, Tristan, if they're both parked, which one are you going for? The Envy was a little more overstable than maybe I wanted, so I'm not super comfortable throwing anhyzer out of the hand or even flat out of the hand. I prefer a hyzer, so I might end up throwing the Hex a little more in the future. But the Envy did turn out really well today. All right, hole two, we have another 250-ish foot tunnel shot right down there. As a lefty, I can push it straight, but I wanted to be working on my forehand today, so I think anywhere that a forehand is available, I'm gonna try that shot, even if I take two off the tee. You guys might not be able to see it super clear, but there's a clear line for a lefty, especially to a hyzer flip, or even just like a Envy, really, that left side hyzer, or you have the right side, which is gonna set you up more for a par or a long putt, but you can definitely push one way out there as a righty backhand, or for me, as a forehand. So we're gonna go Envy again. I threw it pretty well in the last hole. And I actually think it'll shape up even better for this one because I have a little space to hyzer out. Where on the last hole, I was really taking a bit of a risk, pushing the left side to let this have space to hyzer at the end. So we'll try this and our Hex down the left side again, and then we'll try forehand. Okay, so I left that inside, got a favorable kick left. It'll give me a putt. Pull out the Hex again, try that same line on a slight hyzer flip. Okay, I took it inside again and got the same kick. Let's try the forehand. Okay. Okay, so this is part of the reality. That didn't go how I wanted. I released both shots down the left side a little bit early. Neither one gave me a perfect shot, but I do think the Hex is more of the shot I'm going for. But I'm really trying to learn this Envy. Forehand, just not the play unless I flex something, but at that point, I can just be a lefty. Oh, that's way floaty. Putted a little more confidently. There we go. It's a little better. A little high. All right, hole three, we got 240 dog leg left. There's a forehand option, so we'll throw one forehand, one backhand here. We're gonna go Origin on the backhand. Turn it around the corner. Yep, tough tree. That's the problem with the inside route. We'll go forehand on the outside route. Dang. All right, our forehand kicked over into the woods. We got, I don't know, maybe 100 feet in. Just gonna flick the tactic in. All right, we should have a putt. 1 under through 3. Hole 4 is 260 dogleg right. Got to hit a gap off the tee. Got a nice little skip. After shots like that, you have to think about not only disc selection, but how you threw the shot, right? I don't think the Envy is a bad disc for this shot, but I didn't throw it well. I had the airspace to throw a putter, and I tend to disc down whenever I can. But I think in that time, especially with that tee pad, I was thinking about a lot. So I think the disc up to the rock was way better. I did get a favorable skip. I left it low. It was less than perfect, but all I cared about was hitting the gap. We've got this left for birdie. All right, we're 2 under through 5, which is not terrible at all. But from the short tees, I definitely like to be 3 or so, or even better. Anyway, we got hole 5 here, 255, really asking for the forehand, double mando off the tee between these two trees. It's really just a tunnel shot with the forehand. I don't think I'm getting there with the backhand. All right, I need something to get out and get down. And for me, that's gonna be my eagle on my forehand. Yep, I just missed that last one. Okay, a little skip. We're gonna have a long putt. Lefty forehands are something I've heard a lot of people say are required if you're gonna score big and get a good rating and whatever. And while I have no doubts on that, mine sucks. I spent so much time on my backhand, classic amateur player, trying to get the most distance without really thinking practically about the course. So we got a lot to work on moving forward with the forehand, but I have high hopes. I think we'll get good. We'll get better this season with the forehand off the tee. I'll definitely be doing a lot of field work with it, a lot of practicing with gap hitting. Forehand flicks are really comfortable, but as soon as I try to power up, I roll my wrist, I pull it, a lot of things go wrong. I gotta learn them slow and then speed them up. That first one left us with an edge of circle putt for birdie. Hands are a little bit cold at the moment. Okay, I gotta commit to those more. I'm kind of lofting them. I just need to commit to the putt. So we got the second one, but that's gonna count as a par. All right, 2 under through 5. Back there with a missed putt. It's tough. Made the second one, made the correction. That always feels good. Right here, we're on hole 6. We got 267. There's 2 options here. We got a left side, which can only really set you up for 50-footer unless you throw like a perfect hyzer flip turnover as a lefty or really flex something nice as a righty forehand. Or we have this gap that you guys are looking straight down, which as a lefty, I always want to flex something off the tee, but there's a tree literally right there on the side where my miss is. So that's going to leave me dead early. So we're going to try a forehand and a backhand here. The forehand probably being the smarter play. We need a bit of a straighter, overstable mid, I think, maybe even fairway for this forehand shot, but we're gonna try the rock off the tee. Actually, I think the low ceiling is gonna make me disc up. I'm gonna disc up. Let's go FD. I pulled it right. I got lucky though. I'm in the right side bushes. Kind of kicked and sat. Okay, let's try backhand flex shot. Try the Kaiman here. Okay, we missed, but we have air time. That looks really good. That was the luckiest shot I'll have all day. Okay, as I'm walking down the fairway, there is a sneaky little headwind. So I wonder if I look back at the footage, if I rolled my wrist on that forehand or if it turned over. I'll have to take a look at that. All right, the forehand left us in the rough, but we have a putt. We're not too far from the basket. The backhand is parked. Oh, this is gonna be such a funky putt. Let's see if we can float it out there. Nope. All right, still 2 under through 6. On to hole 7, 300 foot. There's a gap on the left, which is kind of sketchy, but a big gap on the right. So it's begging for the lefty forehand for me, which we will throw. But in the past, I've just tried to throw slow turning backhands, which is definitely not a realistic play. I think we'll go crave. This crave is pretty flippy, I think. My focus is hitting the gap. It's turning. It's finishing a little faster than I'd like, but I'll have a long putt with that. The forehand Valkyrie here. Little nose up, and I hit a skinny branch. So if you're into any of the kind of vlogging disc golf scene at all on YouTube, you've probably heard of Bodanza. And he's been talking about this thing with his forehand about keeping his front arm elbow high to keep his shoulders level so he doesn't throw at the ground or pull them really high. I think I'm gonna try that cue a couple times because I often have the same problem where my nose down drives are just into the dirt or I'm throwing them nose up like that. So I might be trying that. But we're gonna play the backhand here with about a 25-footer, which is I think is why I threw this so much, because this came out early and I still have a good putt. If it didn't come out early, I'd be even closer. So I think This isn't the worst play, but I really would like to just be able to throw a forehand. Little high, man. I'm leaving him lofty today. Okay, that was a little too confident, I guess. A little too low. Okay, we are 2 under through 7, I believe, which we definitely want to be doing better than that. But here we are on hole 8, 486 feet-ish on, this is the amateur tee. There's a pro tee back there that's a little further, and a recreational tee way up there. This one's pretty clear. The rec tee is very clear. We'll throw a couple. This will be my first opportunity to kind of open up Wraith on this one. I think it's going to be perfectly in between those last two instabilities. Yeah, that was nice. All right, we should have just a chip up and a putt. A couple things to consider right there. It may not have been all the wind's fault that first one stayed overstable. I definitely threw without full confidence, and that second one I released a little late anyway. So really, I would say whether or not that third one was the perfect disc or just the perfect throw or both, it's hard to debate. But I know in the future, if I don't feel the headwind, I'll probably go back to that Wraith just because it felt good. Also, something I think worth mentioning is like winter power versus summer power, like mid-season power versus like just the beginning or end of the off-season power is going to be different. So I'm playing a lot of pitch and putt courses, not a lot of open courses at all. So this is really one of the first times this winter I've been really ripping at the disc, and none of those felt great, to be honest. So I hope I can do better in the future, but I'm happy with that third shot, truly. I think we're going to play that one here. Cheat just a little bit. I don't know, not too short. We've probably only got 400-ish off the tee, to be honest. I'm going to try to run this Envy straight into the tee over there. Maybe just let the wind play with it a little bit. That should be fine. God, I'm really bad at elevated putts, so this could be embarrassing for me. That last hole was a par 4. I don't think I'll play it as a 4 in the summer, but in the winter, I'm going to give myself that one. We got a 264-foot dogleg left, ever so slightly. Pretty wide open. We got a Mando to the right of this first tree on the left. We are 3 under through 8. All I'm thinking here is probably a forehand, play the ground skip, maybe. I don't think I've thrown many good forehands with this Valkyrie today, but I really want it to work, so we're going to try again. Ooh, I kind of rolled my wrist, wobbled it over. It's going to hit that tree. Okay. That tree's about pin high, so that'll be 30, 40 footer. Something I have to be considering out here is the fact that I'm not playing to get good at this course, I'm playing to get better at these shots. I'm a little closer than I thought, maybe closer to 20 feet. I don't know, I said like 30 or 40. I was way wrong. So we should hopefully hit this one. Great putt. That one felt good. Remember it. Hey, you guys are way up there now. Tee-pad area is a little weird, so I couldn't get a good angle, but we are 4 under through 9. That's not bad on a front 9 at all. 10, I think this is like 270-ish. Kind of a weird gap off the tee. Like you can just throw it straight, but for some reason it always makes me so nervous for no reason. But we'll try to throw it straight. Can't feel any wind. I think the safe play is probably the forehand, but the aggressive play is the backhand. So of course, there's a forehand available, so we'll be doing both. I'm gonna go a little more overstable, just kind of lightly flex something, maybe even flatten it just through this left side gap. So we're gonna go Champ Destroyer, which is slightly beat up, but not too much. I know you're like, wow, 270 Destroyer. I just do it for the overstability, honestly. Okay, I mean, I'm finishing a little further right than I'd like. Ooh, big skips. Please don't pick up my disc. You can leave that there, please. No, you're good. I have to figure out where that really landed. They picked it up, but we share the course, so we can't be mad about things like that. Let's try this forehand strike. I just realized the ceilings, it's slightly low on the right side, but we should be okay. Okay, so the forehand is the safe play, and that ended up being great. So, oh gosh, huge skip. They picked up my lie, so we're putting from the forehand. I thought this was way further from the basket. This is weird. 15-ish feet. All right, let's not be nervous on 15 footers. Forehands just feel so hit or miss, to be honest. Like, you guys have seen them throughout today. They've sucked, some of them. I've rolled my wrist, nosed up, other things like that. But then all of a sudden, randomly, I'll have a shot like that where I throw it 270, pure hyzer. You know, maybe not a perfect form or perfect nose angle, but a much better one than I'm used to. If you guys notice anything or can come to any conclusion as to why that is, I'd love to hear it in the comments, because I really want to get a better forehand going. All right, unfortunately, all 3 teeing areas on hole 11 are ice. We're just going to throw from the short so we don't have to risk anything. We are, after the birdie on 10, 5 under through 11, I believe, but we have another forehand. Could really use this airspace out to the right, lefty backhand, and just turn something, which is pretty technical. Or I can throw yet another forehand. All right, we're gonna go forehand eagle. I need the overstability. It's really far around the corner down there, so I kind of have to swing it out wide, get it pushing left pretty fast. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, but I got so lucky. Probably gonna be short, but I got out there somehow. The backhand wasn't as short as I thought. Maybe have like a 30-ish footer here. Keep those confident putts going here. Don't loft it. I would not say that is giving it a chance. Not feeling the putting today for some reason. No, I'm not saying that I need to be making 30 footers either. I realize how that sounds. All right, after the par on 11, we are at 4 under. We're on 12, which is 177 feet. You can't see it from the angle of the camera from the tee. It's really asking for a right to left shot, so a flex forehand. As a lefty, you could throw, I don't know, some kind of late flipping 177 foot hyzer flip, I guess, if you want. We're gonna use this new Envy that I got and see if we can flex it out. Oh, that's high, but it's finishing. Catch it, catch it. Oh, it's long. It's long. I definitely pushed it a little long with the Envy here. Shouldn't be too bad of a putt though. Okay, very high, a little wobbly out of the hand. Okay, so the game's feeling good, off the tee at least. Putting right now, I'm just not feeling great. I'm just having a day. Yesterday I was putting and I felt pretty good, so I'm hoping this is just like a weird off day. Again, not that I'm saying I need to land every 30 footer. I'm trying to work on really committing my putts, not thinking about the comebacker until I need to think about the comebacker. Unless it's OB. I just want to be confidently making the shorter ones. And I feel like I'm not making them confidently. But putting's something I've been working on all off season. Did a video not too long ago on 100 putts a day for 30 days. And I saw my putting go way up. You'll have to check that out. I'm not going to spoil anything. I would encourage you guys to get out. It might not be easy for everybody. I know there's some field work drills with poles and stuff that you can work on hitting gaps. But there's just nothing like having a tee box, staring down an 8-foot gap, and trying to hit it as many times as you can. Thinking too much about where the disc goes after, but just making sure you're hitting your lines. The fingers are getting a little cold out here. On hole 13, we are, after that birdie back there, 5 under. We've got a 215-foot straight shot. You can kind of flex it left to right if you want. That'll make the fairway the biggest, but it's not too bad of a gap off the tee. This is the recreational or amateur pad. It's a pro pad, 100 feet back, and you have to hit this same gap from like 150 feet. So that's much more difficult, but it's all ice. So we're not playing that one. See what we can do here. I really like the Envy on this one. I'm gonna get it out there flat, maybe a touch of Anheuser, let the Envy be the Envy and come back hopefully. Ooh, we left it low and we didn't give it enough ante. We got a hex here. Try to throw that same shot with more height, a bit softer, and let it glide. That was much better. And that's what I find is when I try to disc down to play the slowest disc possible, especially on something like 215, and then I find myself putting too much juice into it and messing up the shot. So I try to disc up to slow my arm down, if that makes any sense. It's not that I don't think I can throw my Envy 215. I think with an open field and plenty high ceiling, I can throw it 215. But when I'm trying to really punch it, sometimes it gets in my head. I power up too much. I think about the tee pad and I don't focus on the shot. I'm distracted and I throw it low like that on a bad angle. But then what I try to work on, and in the future you'll probably see, is I throw a second one focusing on hitting the gap, letting the disc do the work. I just need to throw it through the gap, and that worked in this case. I parked my second one and my Envy is outside of circle 1. So the Envy is probably 40 to 50 here. You can see my hex, it's absolutely parked. We'll try to run this. Oh, just a little left, a little left. A little forehand flick for fun here. Oh, would have been sweet. A par on 13 leaves us at 5 or 4 under still. Under ice in there, and that's not to disc down too much. So that happened. But we have what I would say is the epitome of finding a small gap on your course and throwing a bunch at it. It's a tiny little gap, and I'm only 5'5" to put that in perspective for you. So we're gonna throw a couple. Again, just trying to hit that gap. It's a 250-foot dogleg right. As soon as you get through that gap, you wanna be going right. Again, just hitting the gap, letting the disc do the work. Missed it, left. Take our rock, and we'll try to do it again. Okay. I just hit an impossible gap. Now we just gotta meet somewhere in the middle of those two. That was perfect. It's a great idea to come out if you have a gap like this on your course and just try to hit it over and over. Try to work on hitting that line, and whatever happens after that, you can work on later. Just hit that first gap. We got a little sneaky with the rock, but we gave ourselves a putt that we missed. The Kaiman got through the gap perfectly, and the disc just did the rest, and now it's just a tap in. You honestly don't even have to find a tee pad. If you can just go to your woods, find a spot, find a gap, and throw through it, that's ideal too. All right, hitting that gap with 2 balls, 1 strike does not count as a birdie, so we're gonna count that last one as a par. Hole 15 here, we have a simple 200-foot dogleg left. You kind of have to push it straight. It's kind of like a stall shot more than it is a pushing hyzer. So we're gonna pull out that forehand again. Ooh, inside a little bit. We might still have a putt. Let's throw a second. Yep, that's great. Go in the basket. Ooh. Hit a late tree, but it was good. It was a good shot. Yo, what up? How are you guys? I'm doing well. No good angle here. Let's hope we can make this putt. Holy cow. This is going to be the weirdest putt ever. I feel like, should I scuba it? Try to scuba it. That'd be sick. Yeah, I shouldn't have tried that. Okay, and not going to lie to you guys. A couple people right before that putt noticed me, and they know me from Instagram and YouTube, so they called me Donut Shack. They're from the local disc golf community, and it just razzed me a little bit. I was like, who's addressing me by my like social media name? It was kind of weird. Honestly, had me so nervous on that putt. It was obstructed, and I embarrassed myself. I wish I could just forget about that one. All right, after an unfortunate par on the last one, we are still 4 or 5 under. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Hole 16 is 282 feet. We got a right to left wind out here. Really should be doing another forehand, but I'll probably end up short. So we're gonna play both a forehand and like just a holding Anheuser backhand. The road on the right side is OB, so I'm gonna go crave. I'd rather go over flippy than under flippy here. It's short. Move to something a little bit more overstable here with the FD. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. It's not perfect. I'm not even sure if I can get a forehand this far. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to punch this. Okay, I turned it over a little bit, but it should not be OB. Oh, skipped off the OB. We're out there. All right, we got a long putt. We got the crave right here where I'm standing, probably almost 30 feet. A little bit in front of that, we got the FD, and I haven't seen the forehand quite yet. Nope. Dang, another par. All right, got a little frustrated at my putts back there, but it's okay. It's 28 feet. Again, I need to set realistic expectations. I can't expect to make all of those, but I've missed a lot today. Hole 17, 260, hard dogleg right off of what's definitely the sketchiest tee pad of the day. We're just gonna have to take it slow and hit the line here. Okay, we got the line. That should be okay. We hit a late tree, maybe long putt. All right, we are just behind this tree here. I don't think you guys can see the lie, but I'll probably be straddling out, throwing a forehand tactic, I think. Maybe there's a putt, but it's gonna finish right, and that's not what I'm going for. So we're gonna flick the tactic up there. Yeah, that's fine. I brought the putter, so I might as well throw it, right? Over the top. Would have been cool. All right, after the par on 17, I think we're 4 or 5 under still, which is not terrible. We have a dogleg right. There's a flex forehand option, but as a lefty, I just really feel like I need to throw the backhand hyzer because it just makes sense. It's a tough fairway. All right, I'm in between speeds here, where there's OB right side after the basket. So if I do hit the whole fairway and I end up skipping at the basket, I risk OB. So part of me wants to slow down, but I don't want to power up then have to hit this gap. And today was all about hitting gaps. So we'll try 2 speeds, but I think my first one is going to be the Valkyrie, and we're just going to try to push it out there straight, let it finish at the end. That's great. A little straight, a little love off that tree. I think we parked it off the tree, so you didn't get to really see any of the skipping, but we'll try a slower one. Okay, we got a compass here. This is a little bit flippy, so we're gonna hyzer flip it down there. Hopefully there's still some finish in it. Oh, okay. Didn't flip too much at all, actually. And no skip, hopefully. Okay, so that was getting toward that scary OB area, but I think because of the slow speed, it didn't skip. Could have also been because of how it hit the snow as well, but a sharper edge is more likely to skip anyway. All right, after a touch of tree love at the end, we got a tap in for birdie here. It looks like we barely got any skip out of the compass. We are cutting that OB close, but we're not at it. So it gives us another opportunity. And we missed. So the camera died right there. So sorry, but let's talk about the round really fast before you go. Goal behind this video is to encourage you guys to get out and improve your game. Where I live, it's really cold, so sometimes it's really hard to want to go outside at all. If you like this video, I encourage you guys, comment below, like, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys on the tee pad. Stay sweet.